Boom, that was easy. Perfect textbook trade, exactly what we were looking for. You guys asked for it. I took RockzFX course, and for the sake of this video, I will focus on his Scalping Masterclass because I like scalping myself, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. So who is Rox? Tony Rockall is a motivational speaker and a full-time trader. He started trading when he was 24, already a father and struggling with debt. He wanted out of the rat race, even though he was earning a decent salary for the time. He dabbled into blogging, MLMs, flipping cars, until one of his friends introduced him to Forex. He fell in love with scalping, the adrenaline rush it provides. Fast forward 3 years of ups and downs, blown account, and chasing money, Rox figured out that trading was a serious business that needed a serious approach. Within a few months of applying himself, he decided to quit his job and become the full-time trader we know him to be today. Now his goal is to cut down your years of learning and making mistakes with a simple and powerful approach so that you can live your life to the fullest. I'm curious, let's dive into the course. The course starts off with words of advice like don't overtrade, know when to leave the computer, and other motivational stuff from Rox. He's pretty good at that. Then he goes into the details of some of his statistics, and already we can see how hard he worked on developing his scalping strategy. He shows us his trading journal with tests he ran on his last 356 trades. The goal with these tests was to find the ultimate risk-reward ratio. And the conclusion is very interesting. Even though the best profits were achieved with a 5-to-1 risk-reward ratio, he explains that those trades are harder on your emotions. The trade will usually last longer, which means the price will spend more time bouncing around between your stop loss and your take profit. In the end, the greater 5-to-1 risk-reward outperformed the 3-to-1 by a lot. But given the added emotional roller coaster, Rox believes that it's simply not worth it. You're better off using a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio and being in and out of the market faster. Even though this approach might be a little less profitable, the smaller risk-reward will be easier on your trade management. So emotionally speaking, he suggests that you go with a little less profit, but an easier, less stressful trading journey. I'm already hooked. Let's get into the actual trading strategy. Like in most courses, on the technical side, Tony starts with the general market structure, finding the trend of the market. He will look for higher highs and higher lows to identify bull trends, and vice versa for bear trends. Because like we said in other videos, the trend is your friend. And this applies to Tony's strategy as well. Now let's go over some of Rox's favorite chart patterns. As we progress into the course, we really get a sense of how much Rox loves trading. For every pattern he explains, he starts by saying that, oh, this is the best one. He always seems super excited. Oh, this is a good one. The first pattern he shows us is the perfect break and retest. It's a continuation pattern that respects the structure of the market. If you're second guessing the retest, you do not take the trade. This is what a textbook trend pattern looks like, where the pullback of the higher low retests the level formed by the previous higher high. So this is Trend Trading 101. Now for the actual scalping strategy. Since Rox trades on the 1 minute time frame, everything has to be perfect. He will not only wait for a retest, the retest will have to show some confirmation as well. For that, he says that the best confirmation pattern and the most important one is the double top or the double bottom. The price has to retest the level and form a double bottom before you can think of taking a buy trade in our example. Then he warns us of a trap that he calls the deep pullback. The deep pullback is when the price retraces back all the way to the previous lower high and respects it. During the pullback, a bearish structure will start to take place, but he will not look for short opportunities. If the price doesn't break the previous lower high, the bull trend remains valid and he will still wait for a continuation pattern to place a buy trade. Many 1 minute scalpers will get trapped in this kind of pattern and will lose a lot of money. You really have to stay focused, and as long as these pullbacks respects the general market structure, you cannot change your directional bias. If you buy on the first higher low and you don't wait for the confirmation or for the double bottom to form, you will not be ready when the price makes a deep pullback like this. You'll get stopped out even though you were right on the direction. So you must keep that in mind and wait for those confirmations. Another very strong pattern that Rox likes a lot is the triple top, triple bottom reversal. You have to remember here that this is a scalping strategy, so you are only trading with perfect technical patterns regardless of fundamental news or events. This strategy is purely based on stats. For this pattern to be valid for a short, it must happen at the end of an uptrend. The price goes up and forms a resistance. Then it creates a small range with 2 bottoms and 2 tops, and Rox will short once the price goes back up for the third top. This is one of his favorite technical patterns, and in his experience, the strike rate here is just out of this world. This is a reversal pattern and not a consolidation pattern. He explains that on the 1 minute time frame, you do not trade consolidation. There is no such thing as a range on the 1 minute time frame. There's only momentum. So that's why he mostly looks for continuation patterns with momentum. While studying the course, I was on the lookout. We know his favorite pair is GBP USD, so I pulled my chart and waited. Okay, we might have it here. A double top is forming. We are going to take this short position. Let's place our stop and take profit like so. Now we wait. Well, that didn't work. If only trading was that easy. Let's get back to the course. The reason why the 1 minute time frame is so difficult to trade is because people treat it as true structure just as they would the 4-hour or the daily time frames. The 1 minute is mostly a mess, so you must trade it strictly with momentum. If the market pushes down, Rock says you are better off placing your last penny on a sell rather than on a buy. And if the market pushes up, you are better off placing your money on a buy. Just trust that process. When the market sells, sell. Do not ever anticipate a reversal on the 1 minute time frame. Now seems to be a good time for a gold nugget. 2 key levels. Rox explains that there are 2 key levels in the market: the major retest and the perfect retest. And under no circumstances you should execute a trade between them. You should either take a trade on a perfect retest, or if it breaks, you should wait for the major retest. Even if the price forms a double top in between this zone, you should not take the trade. You must wait for a retest of one of the 2 key levels. The lower high and the higher low are the strongest levels of a trend. They are your key levels, and as long as they remain valid, you should not look to trade against the current trend. This works on all time frame, obviously. However, it's easy to imagine false reversals on the 1 minute chart, which is why it's important to respect key levels. If the price retests the key levels on the 1 minute time frame, you take the trade immediately. If the price forms a range between them, you wait for a retest of the key levels. Make sure you understand the 2 key level concept, rewind the video if you need to, and while you're there, hit the like button if you haven't done it already. Since Rox trades with the trend, he looks for continuation patterns. This is where the double bottom and double top pattern comes in. If the price forms a double bottom, you should not buy right away. Rox only buys if the price breaks and retests the newly formed level like this right here. Once the price retests the upper level, it will likely react, but it's also a good time to put your stop loss at break even. Okay, let's put this to the test. GBP USD, 1 minute time frame. Looks like we have a nice downtrend. I'll place a short right here for the retest of the deep pullback on the major key level. And now we wait. Boom, that was easy. Perfect textbook trade, exactly what we were looking for. The advantage of trading the 1 minute is that there are more trends, more opportunities, more trades. Your stop loss might get hit more, yes, but the results will speak volume, will speak stats, a lot quicker than on any other time frame. It's basically accelerated trading. Here's another interesting pattern, and this one is for news trading. The pause and go entry. The momentum on the market needs to be strong. The price creates a small level when a candle has closed and creates a momentary pause. At this point, you have to keep in mind that we are on the 1 minute time frame. In other words, candlesticks, shapes and colors hardly mean anything. Momentum, pause, momentum is what we're looking for, especially during news events and release. You'll see this pattern a lot during news. Huge momentum, small pullback. You enter the trade during the pullback, and the goal is to ride the second part of the movement. The employment data is about to drop. Let's see if it's that simple. We got our first impulsion. Let's wait for the second candle to close to create the pause, and the plan is to place a buy right away. Boom, it worked! Nice continuation pattern right there. One last pattern, which Rox covers briefly, is the breakout and breakback entry. Basically, it will enter a trade after a false breakout of a key level. Now obviously, there is more to it. For all these technical patterns to be valid, they must occur in the most volatile moment of the day. Rox lives in the UK. He can easily trade the overlap between the end of the London session and the opening of the New York session, which is the most volatile moment of the day. He explains that during the London session, we will see more ups and downs, more pause and goes, and that during the New York session, we will see more double tops and break and retests. But remember to wait for key levels to get retested, because they will. As for risk-reward, pips, targets, we know that his ideal risk-reward is 3-1 and that most of the time it will use a stop loss of 3.5 pips. With practice and chart times, Rox was actually able to reduce his stop loss to as low as 2 pips, which means to hit a 3-1 ratio, you only need to gain 6 pips. A target of 6 to 10 pips on GU during the day seems pretty doable. Rox prefers GU because it has the most momentum of all pairs during the London and the New York sessions. No surprise, it's these currencies' home sessions. Euro USD is also a good candidate. If you can't find a perfect pattern on GU, you can simply switch to EU. Even Euro JPY and USD JPY are valid pairs for his scalping strategy, but those two will move slower and will require you to readjust your targets. I feel like this video is already filled with nuggets, but let's enjoy another one. Here's a nugget on managing risk. You get your entry confirmation and jump into a trade. The trade flies into profit, but doesn't quite reach the 1-to-1 ratio mark at which Rox would put his stop to break even. Now the price goes back to your entry. Remember that you are on the 1-minute time frame and should rely only on momentum. When something like this happens, when the price doesn't reach your first target and comes back into negative territory, Rox closes 50% of his position at the break-even point, reducing his risk by half and potentially losing less than anticipated. So to recap, at 1-to-1, you put your stop at break-even. And if you don't have time to do it, close half of the position on the way back. I think we're starting to see a pattern between many traders, which is a good thing really. Remember Raja Banks and Mamba FX? Both had similar break-even strategies. This last nugget is very important. A mistake most new traders make is to cut profits short and let the losers run forever. It's literally the opposite of what you should be doing. I think Rox's course shouldn't just cover scalping. Even when you focus on scalping, you have to be aware of the news of what's driving the market, so you don't get caught trading during, say, a surprise inflation news. I like a course that explains more than just the technical side of trading. However, this one was still quite enjoyable. Rox doesn't waste your time, he goes straight to the point, and his trading is backed by stats. That being said, my course should come out soon and will cover what I find this one is lacking. I think it will have the potential to make you a more versatile trader. Stay tuned and thank you for watching.